Welcome friends to the lecture series on engineering graphics. In the previous session, we have learnt about how to draw objects in AutoCAD, how to modify them and how to dimension them. This session is mainly focused on the topic called as Smart Tools and Productivity Features, wherein you are going to learn about how to draw the objects smartly, how to draw the objects quickly. We have plenty of draw commands, but by making use of the draw commands, we are going to spend more time on creation of the objects. So there are variety of tools that are available which will help us in boosting the productivity of our drawing. The learning objectives that you will be learning from this session is how to use the object snap features for precise drafting, then how to create the patterns using array, break complex objects using explode command, and you will also learn how to use the important function keys for faster workflow. Now let us move to the demonstration part. So first of all, we will open AutoCAD software, and I'm opening the sheet that we have already created. So as part of this smart features, we have one tool called as OSnap. OSnap stands for Object Snap. And what does it do? It basically helps us in picking precise geometric points on the drawn objects. So for example, I'll draw a line over here. So what I did is I haven't specified the start point of the line, I haven't specified the end point of the line, and I have not given the length of the line. And now if my requirement is I want to draw another line which starts exactly at the start point of this line or which starts at the midpoint of the line, then I don't know the position of that because I haven't specified any coordinates or any dimensions. So in such a case, it is wastage of time to find out the coordinates. So how do I do it quickly? So for that purpose, we make use of a tool called as Object Snap. So in short, it is called as OSnap. So we can type in OSnap. You get this dialog box. So if you want to directly access this, you can simply press F3 function key. So we are also going to learn about the function keys, and one of the function keys is F3. So by pressing F3, you will be able to activate or deactivate the OSnap features. So as you can see over here, all these are the different OSnap features that AutoCAD automatically projects on the screen. For example, we have endpoint, midpoint, center, then node, quadrant, intersection, perpendicular, tangent, and so on. So we have the facility of making these features on and off individually. That means, as you can see over here, Object Snap on, F3 is the function key. That means if you just want to make this entire OSnap feature as on and off, you can press F3. And if you want all of these features to be available, then you should click on this select all. So the moment we click on the select all, you can see each and every one of the feature is available. That means if the OSnap is on and if all the features are made on, then when you start drawing something, these features will be automatically shown by the AutoCAD software. If you don't want all of them, then you can simply press on clear all. And whichever ones are needed, for example, I have drawn a line now. So I just need to know where is the start point or the end point of that line, and I want to know where is the midpoint of that line. So I just need these two features. So I'll just make them on and click OK. And now in order to see those features, the most important thing to remember is we need to be active in some or the other command. So at present no command is given, so just by moving the cursor over this line will not make those OSnap features visible to you. So for that I am again typing line command, and now I move the cursor on this line. You can just see a triangle is shown, and triangle is the indicator of midpoint. So software has automatically found out the midpoint of the line. So you are not wasting your time in finding out where is the midpoint of the line. Similarly, you just move the cursor over to one of the ends of the line and it will show the square symbol. That square symbol is nothing but the end point of the line. So you can just click on this and then start drawing another line. So this is how the software helps us in drawing the objects precisely. Now similarly, we can go for another command like circle, and I'm doing the same. I haven't given any center point and I have not defined any dimension like radius or diameter. And now my requirement is I want to draw a line which starts exactly from the center point of this line, circle. Then how am I going to draw it? So again, I'll go to the line command, and now I'm moving the cursor over the circle. You can see it is not showing anything because in the OSNAP settings, we haven't selected the center option. So for that, what should I do now? I'll go, you can just see we have this OSNAP settings icon over here. You just see in the bottom right, the cursor is pointing at the OSNAP setting. Adjacent to it, we have an arrow. Click on this arrow. So this arrow lists all the OSNAP features that are available. Now in this, we have already made endpoint and midpoint as on. What we need is now the center point of circle, and I also want you to show the quadrant of the circle. So I'll click these two options now, center and quadrant. And now already the line command is given. So simply move the cursor over the circle. So you can just see the center point of circle has already been highlighted by the software. Similarly, you just move the cursor over to the circumference of circle and it will indicate the quadrants of also for this circle. So this is the quadrant point. Similarly, this is the another quadrant point, third and fourth. So like this, even for arcs, the software will help you in drawing the objects precisely. Now similarly, we have various other features. So for example, you want to draw a perpendicular line or you want to draw a tangent line. So what I'll do is, now I'll make all these features off. You just need to go to this arrow mark, click on the arrow mark, and then pick the perpendicular. So I have clicked on the perpendicular icon, and now give the line command and just move the cursor over to this horizontal line. So you can see the perpendicular icon is being shown over there. And now you start drawing a line. So by doing this, the software will directly draw a line which is perpendicular to the existing line. Similarly, you want to draw a tangent line to the circle. So I'll make this perpendicular off and I'll go to the tangent option. So I have clicked tangent. I'm going back to line. So you can just right click, you get this contextual menu. So you need to pick on the repeat line and move the cursor over to the circle. You can see it is now displaying the tangency icon. So you can draw a line which is tangent to this circle. So this saves a lot of our time. Similarly, now as you can see here, this line and the perpendicular line, they are meeting or intersecting at one point. If my requirement is to draw another line exactly from this intersection of two lines, then what I should do is, again, I should go back to this OSNAP settings and pick intersection as on. So I have made intersection on. I'm going back to line command and now just move the cursor and you can see a cross mark is shown. That cross mark is nothing but the intersection of those two lines. So this is how the software will help us. So this is about the OSNAP features. Next, we'll move on to another command which is called as array. So whenever we have the requirement of drawing the same shape again and again in a certain pattern, we know that we have copy command, but copy command generally we go on specifying it at some random points. But if you want to create a structured pattern, or like in the form of a rectangle or in the form of a circular shape or circular pattern, then we need to go for one command called as array. So I am typing AR, which is the shortcut for the array command. So it will activate this array. Now what it is asking you to select objects. So at present we haven't drawn any object. So what I'll do is I'll simply draw one small rectangle over here. So roughly I have drawn a smaller size rectangle, and now my requirement is this rectangle should be created in a pattern such that we have multiple instances of this rectangle row wise and column wise. So I will type AR, select the rectangle, press enter. Now it is asking you two options, whether you want to go with the rectangular type of array or polar type of array. So that means you want to create the pattern in a linear form or in a circular form. Polar means circular, whereas rectangular means linear form. So first I will demonstrate the rectangular form. The moment you pick rectangular form, you can see it is showing us a preview based on the default values. So if you want to change those default values, you get the options over here where it is asking you to specify the columns. So at present, by default, the number is 4 and there are 3 rows. So you can just change these numbers. So I'll make it 5 columns and I want 5 rows. And then between the distance between the columns and distance between the rows, that also you can define. So at present, something like 60 is shown as the distance between columns. So I'll type this as 75. Similarly, the distance between rows is shown as 34.63. So this I will change it to 40. So accordingly, these patterns are created. Now we have 5 rows and 5 columns, and the distance between each row and column has been defined. So whenever we have such structured pattern, structured shape to be drawn, then array is one of the important command. Now we will go to the another array, which is polar array. So for that, I will draw one small size circle. And now what I want is this circle should be created in a pattern which is circular in nature. That means I want to have multiple copies of this circle, but not in a linear form, but instead a circular form. So again, I'll type AR, select the circle, press enter. Now it is asking rectangular or polar, so I'll go with the polar option. What it is asking, specify center point of array. Now it is asking you, since it is a circular array, we need to define a center of that array. So somewhere here, randomly I'm defining the center point of this array. So by default, now it is showing me a preview of circular array. So using this circle, it has created this pattern. So how many items do we want to have? Now at present it is showing 6. So if you want to change that, you can simply type in a number like 12. And you can see the software has now created a circular pattern of circles, which is having 12 such circular shapes. So this is how we can create the circular array. So this is about the array command. Now, another important command that we are going to learn is about exploding. What happens? Now I have created this circular array and I want to pick this circle. But when I click on this circle, all the 12 circles are getting selected. So my requirement is only to select this one particular circle, but at present all the 12 circles are getting selected. This happens because once you created a pattern, it is considered as a single entity object. That means it goes into the polyline form, wherein it is treated as a single object. Now I want to make all of these 12 circles as independent or individual objects. So how do I do that? So for that, we have a command called as explode. So I'm typing explode. Then it will ask you to select the object. So I'm selecting this pattern. Again, it will ask you to select the object. So simply press enter and the command is terminated. The job is done. If you want to just verify that, you just move the cursor over this circle and select it. Now you can see only that individual circle has been selected. So I will delete this. Similarly, I'll delete this, and delete this. So we can create such shapes very easily using this array command. The next command is align command. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing a small size rectangle and also a line, inclined line. So in this entire drawing, I haven't specified any dimensions, the length of the line, angle of the line, or the dimensions of the rectangle. Now, my requirement is I want this rectangle, that is basically this smaller vertical side of the rectangle, to be perfectly aligned with this inclined line. The problem is I don't know what is the angle. So people will say that we'll make use of a rotate command and all those things. But when you don't know the angle and you want to do the job easily, then we have this command called as align. So using the align command, we will align this smaller side of this rectangle with the inclined line. So I'll type align. And it is asking me to select the object. So I'll select the rectangle. Press enter because the selection is done. Now what it is asking, specify first source point. That means it is asking you to now define a point on the line which is to be aligned or which is to be moved. So I will define the endpoint of this vertical line. Then it is asking first destination point, where this point or this endpoint of the line needs to be aligned with. So I am clicking on this inclined line. Similarly, it is asking me second source point. Now I will select the other endpoint of this vertical line. The moment you pick this, then it will ask you to specify the second destination point. So I am choosing the endpoint of this inclined line. Still it will go on asking you selection of the source point and destination point. Since our job is done, you simply press enter. Then what it is asking, scale objects based on alignment point. That means I have defined this as the one destination point and this as the other destination point. So now the software is asking, do you want to magnify this object to the destination size? Yes or no? By default it is no. So if you go with the no option, whatever is the original size of this rectangle, it will be retained. And if you go with the yes option, this rectangle will be magnified to this size, whatever destination point 1 and destination point 2 we have defined. So it basically it indicates certain length dimension. So this line will get magnified to this dimension size and the overall size of the rectangle will increase. So we'll go with the no option. The moment you click on the no option, you can see immediately the software has now aligned this smaller rectangle to this inclined line. So even without specifying any angular value or without making use of a rotate command, we are able to align the rectangle with the given inclined line. So this is also one of the important commands in engineering graphics, because when we work with the projections of planes, projections of solids, we need to make use of this command. So this is what is about the align command. And now we'll move on to the function keys. We know that the keyboard has got many function keys. Similarly in AutoCAD also, these function keys have certain usage. So if you want to know what is that, we'll start with the F1 function key. So I'm pressing F1 and F1 is the function key for help. The moment you press F1 function key, the software will open up this online help for you. The next function key is F2. So press F2. So what F2 does is, it basically shows you the entire history of what you have done till now. So we know that at this bottom place we have this command prompt. So whatever commands I have used till now, that entire list will be displayed in this command prompt using the F2 function key. The next one is F3, which we have already seen. F3 is for OSNAP. So press F3. So what it does, you can just read over here, OSNAP off. So if you want to toggle between on and off for the OSNAP, so simply go on pressing F3. So by default, you should keep this OSNAP on. Only the features that are needed for you, you can just tick or untick them. Then the next one, we will move directly to the F7 function key. That is for the grid. So you press F7 function key, you will be able to get the grid on and off on the screen. The next one is F8, which is for ortho on and off. So if you want to draw only horizontal or vertical lines, you don't want to draw any inclined line, then you should make ortho on. And if your requirement is to draw inclined lines, then make this ortho off. So simply press F8 key. So by pressing the F8 key, you will be able to now draw inclined lines. So if F8 is on, it will only allow you to draw horizontal and vertical lines. If F8 is off, that is ortho is off, then you can draw lines at any angle. Similarly, the next one is snap on and off. So you will be able to jump the cursor from one position to other using the snap command or snap option. So for that, you should make use of F9. The next one is F10, and F10 is for polar on. So what is this polar on? So you can see over here at the bottom it is showing this icon, which is nothing but polar tracking, and for this polar tracking the function key is F10. So I'm just clicking on the arrow which is adjacent to this icon. So it is showing different values over here. So I'm going to the tracking settings, and you can see over here the polar tracking option is on because we have pressed F10 function key, and the increment angle is shown as 10. You can type any angle over here. So I'm retaining it as 10, and now I'm going with the line command. So what happens is, with the polar tracking option on, whenever we are able to reach that angle value of 10, the software will automatically show a projector at that particular angle. So you just see this is 0 degrees, and now dynamically I'm moving up. So it is showing 5 degrees, but there is no projector that is shown on the screen. But the moment you move to the 10 degrees, automatically the software will show a projector at that angle. So where this is useful, when you read a particular drawing and you see that all the lines are in multiples of like maybe 15 degrees, 30 degrees, so you can set that particular angle value, so because of which you will be able to draw the lines quickly. So you can see 10 degrees, 20, it shows the projector only for those angles which we have been set. So we have given the step of 10-degree angle. So at every 10-degree angle, it shows the projector. So this is about the polar tracking. And then the last important function key is F12. So you just see I'm typing the line command. We know that we have a command prompt over here, but I'm not moving my cursor to the command prompt and typing. Just observe it carefully. I'm typing L, and that L is basically visible to you on the screen. So why is this happening? This is because of a mode called as a dynamic mode. So at present, the dynamic mode is on. So what does this dynamic mode do is, it allows you to type the commands, type the dimensions, type the coordinates dynamically on the screen without the cursor being placed in the command prompt. So I'm typing L, and now you can see the coordinates also. You got a dynamic typing box wherein you can type the values. So it is asking specify first point. I can just type in like 250, 250. So now it is asking me the length, angle, so that also I can type. So everything I'm just directly typing the numbers. I need not put the cursor into the command prompt. So I'm typing 100 as the length, pressing tab key so that the cursor jumps to the angle, and I'm typing the angle value as 45 and pressing the tab key, and I'm pressing enter. So now you can see a line of 100 mm length with 45 degrees angle has been created. So all this is possible because we are able to directly specify the coordinates, the commands on the screen. If you make this off, so now what I'm doing is I'm pressing function key F12, and now you can see I made it off. Now I don't get the line command visible. The dynamic dialog box that was visible to you on screen, that is not available. Whatever I'm typing, it is directly typing into the command prompt. So line is also shown in the command prompt. So I pressed enter. Now it is asking me specify first point. That also I'm typing, and the values are being shown in the command prompt. So this is what happens when the dynamic mode is off. So it is always advised to keep the dynamic mode on. So I made it on by pressing F12 function key. So now you can see the same dialogues or the commands that we need to specify are visible to us on the screen. So I'm typing the value as 250 comma 300. So like this we can very easily and quickly complete our drawings using these smarter productivity tools that are available in AutoCAD software. So I hope you have understood all these important features that are available in AutoCAD software. So now what I want you is to complete this practice task wherein you will create a rectangle of sides 50 by 20 mm, and using this rectangle you try to create a rectangular array with 3 rows and 3 columns, and similarly you create another circle of radius 25 mm and create a polar array consisting of 8 items. So this is the practice task. So we'll meet you in the next session. Thank you.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.